If you look at those as opportunities to improve in an infinite game, an infinite multiplayer game, right? Then you're really just looking at where you are relative on that opportunity spectrum and continuing forward.
Hey, I'm Steve McGhee. I'm a reliability advocate at Google Cloud. I was an SRE for a long time, and now I help people build more reliable systems on the cloud.
Hi, I'm Kyle Campbell, founder of CTO.ai. We are a modern development platform that helps companies measure the software developer experience. Been an entrepreneur and a self-taught software engineer for a long time, and love to help developers build internal developer platforms. One of the things the research shows is that 50% of the respondents are at a medium or low performing level. How do you think that we should interpret that as an industry?
Yeah, so it's really, I wish we didn't call it those names. Basically, what happened was we didn't provide cutoffs where it's like, if you're this tall, you are good. And if you're below this, you are not good. And if you are above this number, you are elite and you are so great. It's really just, it's called cluster analysis technique, where all these numbers come in and they get plotted on this one thing. And we find it's not just uniformly spread. It's that teams tend to cluster into clusters, right? All the dots tend to fall into here and here and here and here. And so it turns out that, higher is better. And so we gave them names. So yes, the higher ones are the elite or the high performing ones, but it's not because they achieved some cutoff that was previously defined. It's just that they tend to all be in a group together. And so the question really is why are they in that group together? Why are the lows all in the low? Why isn't it just smeared evenly across this population? Mm-hmm. I think that's a great question to ask. And it's it tends to be because once you start adopting some capabilities, and this kind of goes back to what we were saying about how things things accumulate over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only does tech debt accumulate in a negative way, but better capabilities accumulate in a good way. And so if you start doing trunk-based development and you start doing better CI/CD and you get automation, you get these compounding effects that just shove you all the way up here to the top right. And so if you have really good automation, you have the right culture, you have a bunch of tests, automation, and complete coverage and all these things, everything just starts getting better and you get catapulted into this higher and higher bucketing. The fact that it breaks up into 3 or 4 groups is just weird. I can't really explain it. The fact that it's called low, medium, high is just because we had to pick some names. So it's I try not to read into that too much, but instead look at the reasons why there's clumps at all. I think that's a fascinating question.
Yeah, I mean, infinite game theory, I think, is important here. If you have a finite, way of thinking about this, you're going to take that too literally. If you look at those as opportunities to improve in an infinite game, an infinite multiplayer game, right? Then you're really just looking at, where you are relative on that opportunity spectrum and continuing forward because, I think success is relative, and it absolutely makes sense from a scientific perspective why we would bucket these things from a cluster perspective. But that translation that you offer people, I think, makes it easier for them to see themselves through the J curve on these investments that they're going to make, because you got to be kind to your future self in the present.
If you want to learn more about DORA, check out dora.dev, and you can join our community as well. There's a URL, dora.community, which is an actual URL. You can type it into your browser, and where we meet up a couple times a month to talk about DORA and how they're adopted within communities and organizations. And then keep a lookout for Ask Dora. I call it Dora Bot, but we have an LLM that's trained on all of the Dora material for the past 10 years, and you can ask it any question you'd like to better understand all the material within the Dora reports over the years. And don't forget to check out the Accelerate book as well. It's 10 years old and it still rings true.
If you're looking to advance your CI/CD practices and get DORA metrics automatically through that tool, check out CTO.ai. We will help you set up your CI/CD process to automatically collect and search and report on the DORA metrics that come out of your CI/CD practices. And then you can use those and compare them with the word of your team to understand how to continuously improve over time. I want to say a big thank you to Steve from DORA for joining us, and we'll see you soon.